Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. You know, this episode of Monday Night Raw was absolutely one of the most nonsensical episodes we have seen thus far in 2019. If you are one of those who have made it through the 3 hours of just absolute boredom the WWE put us through tonight, as I am, then congratulations. If you are one of the many who decided to not tune in to Monday Night Raw tonight, then you guys deserve an award because you are all much smarter than the rest of us. And we are going to talk about it all right here and right now, because the Fastlane Fallout show made it even more evident that that pay-per-view was an unnecessary speed bump, a ridiculous, dirty, filthy pit stop on the road to WrestleMania, and we are going to talk about it all right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Let's do it!
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. You know, last night was the Shield's last ride. We were never going to see the Shield in the ring ever again after Fastlane. So naturally, Monday Night Raw tonight kicked off with the Shield in the ring. And I don't give a shit that they were giving some farewell address. What was that farewell address all about? What was actually said? Roman Reigns came out and said dog shit. He said absolutely nothing. He told us nothing of what his future plans were going to be. He just wants to have a singles match. I haven't had a singles match in 5 months, and I need that to be corrected tonight in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Dean Ambrose. What did we learn about Dean Ambrose? Dean Ambrose was supposed to have some sort of announcement tonight as well. What did Roman Reigns say about Dean Ambrose? Well, Dean's got some business too, but even Dean don't know what that is. Haha, that's why we love Dean, right? So, what are we really here to talk about? We're here to talk about absolutely nothing. We didn't celebrate the longevity of the Shield. We didn't go down any of their career highlights. This was not saying goodbye to the Shield. This did absolutely nothing. This was a waste of everybody's time for Roman Reigns to give his, support to Seth Rollins and get the crowd started in a burn it down chant. We don't need Roman Reigns to get that started. All you need to get that started is to start Seth Rollins' music and let him hit the ring. A stupid way to start Monday Night Raw. One of the things I said, if you watched last night's Fastlane review, is one of the best things that could happen is we will never ever see the Shield on TV again. And it was the first thing we saw tonight on Monday Night Raw. And we've seen them all together again later on this evening as well. As if everything that was said and everything that happened last night doesn't mean shit. Because that's the WWE's MO. They do things that just don't mean anything. They have no meaning behind them. And if you need something to be explained, don't sit there holding your breath because you'll end up passing out. The way Monday Night Raw forces you to almost pass out on your couch every single Monday night. You will lose oxygen waiting for an answer because they will never give it to you. Such is the case with something like a Shelton Benjamin. The best answer they got as to why a SmackDown superstar was showing up tonight on Monday Night Raw to challenge the guy going up against the Universal Champion at WrestleMania is because Paul Heyman paid him. And now you're telling me there is nobody on Monday Night Raw's roster that Paul Heyman could have paid? The roster on Raw is so fucking terrible that the advocate to the Universal Champion is scouting talent from the B Show? What is going on? The lines of the brand split have been blurred so dramatically, and I don't know whether we should blame it on the girls' situation because of everything that's happened with Becky and Ronda, how it's kind of blurred the lines and everybody's all of a sudden just kind of melded into one show without them actually saying, hey, by the way, the brand split doesn't fucking matter anymore. But that's definitely what it feels like, because you got this guy showing up here, that guy showing up there. Monday Night Raw is just taking people from everywhere, from NXT, anywhere they want. They're just pilfering all the talent. We're putting it all on Monday Night Raw, and it's not making a lick of difference. Well, we did have a good match between Shelton Benjamin and Seth Rollins. What was the intention other than to soften up Seth Rollins for Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar is so intimidated by Seth Rollins that he needs Paul Heyman to go out and get people to try to soften him up just 4 weeks before WrestleMania? That seems a little bit unbelievable to me, unless Seth Rollins has a point in everything that he said tonight. We have seen on many occasions Brock Lesnar take on people very similar in stature to a Seth Rollins. We've seen him take on Daniel Bryan and Finn Balor and other competitors of that nature, AJ Styles, and every time he does, he seems to have problems with that sort of a person where he can just absolutely bulldoze a Braun Strowman or a Bill Goldberg or a John Cena. When it comes to the smaller, agile, faster, quicker opponents, Brock Lesnar might just be scared to take on the Beast Slayer. So maybe this is some sort of strategy being shown to us by Paul Heyman, but I appreciated the match. It was a good match. But while you're putting Shelton Benjamin in a good light, you're just feeding him to Seth Rollins when all is said and done. And while he did come out looking good, the guy always looks like $1 million. I love Shelton Benjamin. I've always been part of his bandwagon and thought that his return was going to be much bigger and much more prominent than it actually was. And you can't look at this and say, well, maybe this is the beginning of that, because he just showed up on a Monday Night Raw, which isn't even his show, to lose to the guy that's going to the main event at WrestleMania. So what value does the WWE actually see in him? Well, we just need somebody that can give Seth Rollins a good match. So we'll just pick one of the better wrestlers we have. Oh, we don't have a lot of those great wrestlers on Monday night. We don't want to sacrifice Finn Balor, or do we? Because that's exactly what happened tonight as far as the Intercontinental Champion is concerned, which we'll get to in a second. But the match with Seth Rollins and Shelton Benjamin, good match. Seth Rollins comes out with the win in the end, so the plan kind of backfires on Paul Heyman. The whole little promo segment between the two of them in the beginning, I thought was a little cringy with all the Brock Lesnar screaming. But I did appreciate Seth Rollins' point like we just were talking about, and I thought that it was a good promo, not having the Beast there, but we do know that the Beast Brock Lesnar will be on Monday Night Raw next week, finally gracing us with his presence somewhere before we get to WrestleMania. We'll have to wait and see what exactly happens with that. And in the end of the whole thing, good match, but did it matter? Not really. The Intercontinental title match tonight. Bobby Lashley took on the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. I don't know why this was even a match. I don't know why somebody like Bobby Lashley is being given a championship match 24 hours after being completely decimated by the Shield. I guess the Shield is not as dominant as they used to be, where you got Drew McIntyre running roughshod over the whole entire fucking show. You got Bobby Lashley standing here about to win the fucking Intercontinental Championship for the second time since his return, and Baron Corbin looks like a fucking $1 million in his three-piece dumbwaiter fucking Wendy's uniform. So how much damage does the Shield really do? I thought these guys destroyed them last night. They were wrestling all over the place, putting people through tables, the triple power bomb through the announce table. Meanwhile, this guy's 100% alright to absolutely go out there and defeat one of the top talents in the world, Finn Balor, who's been the champion for a blip on the radar right now. And they take it from him before WrestleMania and give it back to the giant all milk dud, boring, trashly Bobby Lashley? You'd rather see the Intercontinental Championship wrapped around a giant bulbous ball of melded together milk duds? Bobby Lashley is one of the worst professional wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling, not because of his in-ring ability, but simply based off of the fact that the guy is like watching cardboard. I'd rather sit in my room and watch a fresh coat of paint dry than watch Bobby Lashley wrestle. He is devoid of any charisma. He is devoid of personality, and he comes off as if he does not care. His soulless, lifeless eyes do nothing for that muscular, godlike body, and I just want the guy to go away. I was never a big fan of his when he first came up in the WWE. I was one of the people who was not a huge fan of his as TNA Wrestling's champion and Impact Wrestling's champion, where everybody started to say, oh, well, look at Bobby Lashley. He's actually good. No, he is not. He showed a little bit more promise in TNA Impact Wrestling, because he was actually working on his character and being more true to himself, and his promos weren't scripted by WWE garbage writers. But Bobby Lashley, since his return, has been nothing but a joke to me. And the fact that he is one of the centerpieces for Vince McMahon for Monday Night Raw every Monday night makes this one of the worst shows on TV. One of the worst eras of Monday Night Raw we have to sit through, because we have segments involving guys, and more than one segment on the most part, having to deal with guys like Baron Corbin and Bobby fucking Lashley. And now they give this guy the championship again 4 weeks before WrestleMania. For what? Instead of focusing your attention on giving Finn Balor a great champion, building up some sort of a rivalry for him, you got plenty of time to do something. Give him an opponent that will allow him to tear the house down at WrestleMania and bring some class and respect back to the Intercontinental Championship. But no, you're putting it back on this walking paper doll covered in milk duds. And now, what are we going to do with the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania? We're going to have a ladder match? We're going to have some sort of a multi-man fucking matchup where anybody can win, only to have Bobby Lashley come out with it in the end because Vince McMahon has to jerk off at the gorilla position throughout WrestleMania and he needs all his sexy, big, oily men to win? I don't understand it. Further disrespecting Finn Balor, it makes no fucking sense. We could have had the Demon come out at WrestleMania with the Intercontinental Championship and defend it against anybody. Shelton Benjamin. Could have put him there. I would have been much more accepting of it. You know what kind of a match we'd have between Shelton Benjamin and Finn Balor? Holy shit. Especially with some championship on the line at a WrestleMania. But no, we got fucking boring Trashley holding the belt again. Thanks to fucking Leo Rush coming out dressed like a mugger, just like a common thug, coming out here threatening to steal the Intercontinental Championship, distracting Finn Balor and causing Bobby Lashley to get the win with a spear from out of nowhere as Finn Balor took off, did a springboard off the ropes, going after Bobby Lashley. He's got me so pissed off that I'm all fucked up about it, you guys. I cannot take it. Longtime fans of this show, you know how we feel about Bobby Lashley. And the fact that this happened tonight, especially like I said, after this guy was just decimated 24 hours ago. He's coming out there winning championships on Monday Night Raw. Holy shit. Awful. We see immediately following this Baron Corbin backstage talking about the fact that he's going to fight Roman Reigns tonight, and I do not care. I do not care about a fucking word he says. We come back from the break, we got Ronda Rousey coming out being all rowdy, right? She's coming out and she's all fired up now. Ronda Rousey's finally spitting some good game, you might think to yourself. And the words she is saying is pretty good. But what Ronda Rousey needs to do, it's one of the things that as a wrestler you learn pretty often, and people continue to tell you, because even when you're a seasoned pro, you need to be told sometimes to just fucking slow down. She's just got to slow down. You ever been in a business meeting and you got to sit through pitch after pitch, and some of the guys that come up and do their pitches like yours truly would be charismatic. We'd be straight to the point. We'd drift off a little bit, maybe tell a joke here or there, but we pretty much own the room, and we're comfortable being out there talking to all of you guys, you know? Some of you guys might be that same way. You thrive in public situations. But then you got that one guy in the meeting and he's just fucking super nervous and he doesn't want to do it. And he's got his notes and he's got his paper and he like stands up there and he just like gets through the whole fucking report. Well, we got this and then we got to go through this and then we got through that. And then we're doing this and that. My name's fucking Phil. Thank you very much. Boom, boom. You know, like he just speed reads through his whole presentation because he's just so fucking nervous. And he just wants to get it over with. And that's how Ronda Rousey's coming across to me. Like, she's just out there. She's got to get this out. I got to get this out. You know, you think you're a badass bitch. And all your fans, you think you're blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, slow down. I know you're mad, lady. But take it easy. Take a breath. And Take a look back at some of the greats in the business. Look at a guy like Jake the Snake. You didn't see him all fucking amped up on coke. Well, that might be a bad analogy because I'm sure there was some times that he probably was. But for the most part, when Jake the Snake was doing his promos, he was very slow and to the point. Like we said about Batista, the guy came back and he nailed that promo because he wasn't out there ranting and raving and spitting all over the place like he was tonight. He was just very, very methodical in his delivery, very calm, very poised. And then you get fired up at the end. You let it reel, you hold it back, and then you finally, you let it out just for like the last 30 seconds of the promo. But her coming out and just jumping around all like an ape and just, it's just so forced. And it comes across as cringy. And yes, it's the best she's probably been, and what she said was great. Although I don't really like the fact that she's kind of playing with this and skirting the lines of the breaking kayfabe thing. Is she calling wrestling a charade? Is she telling us, all of us that believe the charade of professional wrestling, that we're all assholes? Is that what she's saying? Or if we believe in the charade of Becky Lynch actually having a chance at beating the baddest bitch on the planet? Be a little bit more clear on what you're trying to fucking say, because I wasn't actually sure on who she was actually attacking, whether she was coming down on us and professional wrestling and doing that it's fake shit that she's kind of doing, breaking the fourth wall and supposedly a huge no-no, and now maybe Vince is going to turn it around and be like, no, let's let that be her thing. She's going to trash pro wrestling and then walk around and be the champ. I don't know, I feel like this is going to get her a lot of heat, a lot more heat backstage than she's already been getting. The Ronda Rousey memes all week long have been fucking fantastic. They are some of the biggest sources of joy throughout the day for me. Some of the people have been very creative and put out some really great shit. But at the end of the day, when you look at what happened, I don't like that any of this exists. I don't like that it happened in the world, and I think that there should be some reining in of some of that, and it doesn't look like that seems to be the case. And then you got, of all the fucking people to stand up for the women, you got the walking sausage factory, Dana Brooke. Now, I've many times on this show told you guys how nauseating it is to me to see Dana Brooke. And now believe me, this isn't coming out of any disrespect. I don't mean to be disrespectful if that's how you're going to take this, but it's a physical reaction that just happens that I cannot explain. And I'm not even trying to be funny about this. Like, the girl shows up on my TV and it's like, I just don't want to look. And maybe, I understand Dolph Ziggler digs this kind of thing. That's been his squeeze. I'm not sure if they're still together. I know that they've been together on occasion. And, that's good for him. But this is me. Well, Dana Brooke's on the TV. I just can't look. Because as hard as it is for me to say the Boston connection, just actually seeing Dana Brooke on TV physically makes me ill. And I apologize if that's too much for some of you to handle. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm telling you guys what actually happens. This is a fucking fact. I just can't take the sight of this person. And I know you guys understand, because there has got to be somebody in your life that just, you look at them and they just make you queasy. They make you break out in the sweats and you're just like, God damn it, not this person. Maybe it's somebody you have to serve at your job. The fucking bell rings in the door and you see them walk in and you just see that face and you're just like, no, not this one. And that's what happens when I hear that fucking music and I see her come out with that duck lip, dick lip face, and it's just like, no. And of all the fucking people taking umbrage for the ladies, Dana Brooke comes out like she should be saying anything. When was the last time she was even on TV? Yeah, I understand that was part of her promo, but that doesn't make it right for her to be the one out there talking shit to Ronda Rousey, and everything that she got, she absolutely deserved. She actually deserved worse. You know who actually deserved to take the beating from Ronda Rousey tonight is the jerk-off in the back that wrote this segment. Ronda Rousey needed not to beat up any fucking jobber female on the roster. All she needed to do was say what she had to say, drop the mic, and leave. You weren't going to have Becky show up again. It would have been overkill. You don't got Charlotte on the show tonight, which is fantastic because it would have been overkill. I'm sure they will both be there tomorrow night. But this whole thing with Dana Brooke was absolutely ridiculous. You're introducing yourself to Ronda Rousey like she gives a shit? We don't even give a shit. You had people in the crowd fucking chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" Dana Brooke, Mrs. Irrelevant in the women's division. Go back to Titus O'Neil and start keeping stats about how many times you should keep your mouth shut. How about that? After this, we talk about how Batista recently returned. They showed a whole preview package of last week. Try to get us amped up about the face-to-face tonight that was going to take place. Then we had the tag team matchup tonight, another unnecessary tag team matchup. Aleister Black and Ricochet, the team that I will continue to tell you guys, as much as I love these guys individually, I am not a fan of this tag team. Going up against the Glorious Gables like this means a fucking thing, because nobody gives a shit about the tag team division. And if Aleister Black and Ricochet don't win, that's the story here. So this is a predictable, another fucking run-through match for Black and Ricochet. They are just both of them tearing through the entire tag team division as if they are, well, they are. The tag team division is garbage, and these two guys are prime superstars teamed up together, and they are just tearing ass through the entire tag team division. And sure, it makes sense, but I don't like it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I don't like them as a team, and I don't like that they are kind of just coming and beating through everybody, because it's only going to lead to them being crowned champions in the tag team division, and I want so much more for them than that. It just seems like something that maybe Vince is doing just to appease Triple H. Be like, all right, listen, I know I'm fucking up with all you guys, but shut up. I'm going to give these two guys the tag team belts. Just shut up and let me do what I want with everybody else. That's what I see happening here. This was a decent tag team matchup, as it always will be, and Aleister Black and Ricochet pick up the win when Aleister Black hits Bobby Roode, the formerly glorious Bobby Roode, with the black mass, and gets the pin for the win. And more nonsense happens after this matchup, as the Revival would hit the stage as Black and Ricochet were exiting and start beating them down at the top of the stage, and I really just don't care. Once again, it's just a little too late. The Revival, their ship is sunken. You know, nobody gives a shit when they come out. They're trying their best to bring some sort of prestige to this tag team division, but the WWE doesn't know how to book it, and they're putting all their focus on the wrong team. You're focusing on building up Aleister Black and Ricochet, a team that kind of doesn't need to be built up because they're a team of two megastars, if you ask me, and you're not making the champions look like viable champions. You're not making them look like a threat, and you're not making them look like they can't be beaten. So as soon as Aleister Black and Ricochet get in the ring with the Revival, everybody's just going to assume that what's going to happen is going to happen. So nice way to make it unpredictable, jerk-offs. That's how I feel about the whole thing. Now, we go to the stage, and out comes Alexa Bliss for a moment of bliss. We're going to find out who the guest host of WrestleMania is. And if you did not for 1 minute already know that it was going to be Alexa Bliss, then you don't know wrestling as well as you might think you know, because there would be no reason for Alexa Bliss to announce anybody other than herself. She is so self-important and so conceited that there is no way in hell that that segment was going to be about or focused on anybody else, even if it was a big Hollywood megastar. This was a self-promotional piece from the minute I heard what she was going to do. There's no way she wasn't going to be announced as the host. On that note, I don't understand why she's got to fucking be the host. I don't like active roster people being the hosts of a WrestleMania as opposed to actually being part of WrestleMania. I don't understand why this girl's been all over social media for the last couple of months. If you've been following Alexa Bliss, you'll know what I'm talking about. She's showing herself training. She's doing all kinds of awesome fucking flips and dives and all kinds of crazy maneuvers, training to get back in the ring. But you don't want to perform at WrestleMania? You want to be the fucking host? I understand maybe this isn't her choice and this is what the WWE wants her to do, but this is where they find value in her. They're going to have her walking around talking all fucking WrestleMania night. It's bad enough we got the two fucking idiots from Saturday Night Live as special correspondents. Blah, blah, blah. More bullshit we don't need to pump up this 7 to 8 hour fucking fluff fest instead of just giving us fucking wrestling. Alexa Bliss should be out there fucking wrestling. Everybody gives her shit because, oh, Alexa Bliss can't wrestle. And, you know, but from what you see on Monday Night Raw, that would seem to be true. But then when you watch her training and if you see her in her personal life and what she's doing and showing the world on social media, this girl could fucking go if she wanted to. And maybe it's actually the WWE that's not allowing her to be in the ring like that because they don't know what to fucking do with her. Which I believe to be the case more than anything else. We had this, speaking of the SNL jerk-offs, we took a look back at them for some reason, like they're important, and they showed the Braun Strowman segment from last week, and now we had to come to this week's Braun Strowman segment, some more fucking wasted time, where Braun Strowman is given a gift of an automobile, and the automobile, as he's standing next to it, looks like a fucking Matchbox car, and I'm thinking to myself, if you're going to buy a gift for Braun Strowman, why would you not buy a Braun Strowman-sized gift? Because very obviously this car was only bought and put back there to be destroyed by Braun Strowman. And we are going back to what we were doing with Braun Strowman 18 months ago. We was walking around destroying shit and pulling down Raw sets and destroying the whole backstage and making all kinds of nonsense happen. It worked back then. Doesn't mean it's going to work again. I've seen him do much more impressive shit than break the windshield of a car. And all his unnecessary screaming about how it's too small. He sounded like a fucking baby. Like a whining baby that got a fucking gift that he can't use. Oh, this toy's too small for me. Ah! Braun! Get out of here with that shit. Just like you could get out of here with fucking Elias and all this shit they've been doing with Elias. Well, before we get to that, I just want to make mention of one more thing. The commercial breaks with these shows are fucking ridiculous. I don't know what the point is, and I don't know why they are writing the shows to be this way. But that Braun Strowman segment, they had a little production assistant find Braun Strowman and say, oh, Mr. Strowman, you have a fucking car. Your car is here. And he's like, what car? And then they go to fucking commercial. And then a good solid 5 minutes of commercial break, they come back, and we are still with the production assistant and Braun Strowman. Well, we got your car over here, Mr. Strowman. And I'm thinking, while this is all happening, like, what the fuck were they doing in the arena for the last 5 minutes? Was everybody just watching Braun Strowman standing in the back, waiting for them to say action? Did they get a little 5-minute bonus match from the 205 Live guys? Did somebody come out into the ring and entertain the fucking fans? Or was everybody in the fucking arena just standing at the crowd while Braun Strowman is waiting for his fucking cue for 5 minutes? What is going on with this show? The commercial break segments is bad enough we get 100 of them throughout the show, but now the timing of them and what's going on in between them, it's even worse. We're coming back just like the segment last week. Braun Strowman was strangling a man throughout the entire commercial break, but we came back from the commercial and the guy was not dead, and physically, biologically speaking, that would not happen. It would just absolutely be untrue, and it just makes the show look like more of a piece of shit than it is. It's bad enough it's as bad as it is. They gotta make it look like one of the worst timed shows on the planet as well. Back to Elias. Elias comes out doing his fucking Elias thing, which me, being a guy on this planet that wants to walk with Elias, I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of it because it doesn't mean anything and the guy's not going anywhere. And now, once again, we are taking light years backwards as we are going back to No Way Jose being the guy coming out to interrupting Elias. The most interesting thing about this whole thing is No Way Jose's coming out with neon green hair. For a minute there, I thought he was Naomi, and that everybody was screaming, Naomi, Jose, Naomi, Jose. This was inconsequential, ridiculous TV filler bullshit. And No Way Jose got his ass beat by Elias, as you would expect. When was the last time we seen the fucking conga morons coming out? Hey, 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 hey! Who gives a shit? Here's something that I could totally dig, sucker, as Michael Cole told everybody that the next inductees for the 2019 Hall of Fame class will be Harlem Heat. Booker T will now be a two-time Hall of Fame inductee, along with Ric Flair and I think a couple of other guys. I'm not sure at the moment right now. But I'm a big fan of Harlem Heat. I loved what they did with the Colonel. I loved what they did with Sister Sherry. I thought they were one of the best tag teams WCW ever produced. Multiple-time tag team champions. A very, very fitting addition to the Hall of Fame, if you ask me. So far, this year's Hall of Fame has been pretty much bullshit for the most part. I'm digging the Honky Tonk Man going in there. Not caring too much about DX other than the fact that it's the only way that China's going to get in, so I'll take that for that. But otherwise, so far, with the Hall of Fame. We are not even going to go into Tori Wilson. If there was ever somebody that didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, she is definitely on that list. We're not at the point where we just need to be putting in people for the sake of putting in people when you don't have Miss Elizabeth in the Hall of Fame and you want to put Tori Wilson in the Hall of Fame. The contributions totally outweigh each other. And Miss Elizabeth, hands down, needs to be in there before a Tori Wilson. Even Francine, the First Lady of ECW, should be in there before fucking Tori Wilson. What was her biggest contribution to the interview? Her 2 puppies? And I'm not talking about Chloe. I'm talking about the puppies that the King used to go nuts over. Who gives a shit? She never won gold. She never did anything of note. She dated Tajiri on screen. She dated Billy Kidman on screen. She was part of the Misfits in Action in WCW, if anybody fucking remembers that. And if you do, God bless you. And her fucking dad banged Dawn Marie on TV and had a fucking heart attack and died. That's Tori Wilson's contributions to the WWE. Thanks, Tori. Here's your fucking Hall of Fame ring. I keep forgetting to get that out. That's why that just popped out. The last couple of weeks I haven't talked about it because it's just been bleh. Hate it. Just about as much as I hate Lacey Evans. Bam, 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 bam. I'm wasting time, y'all. I got nothing to do but wear a big hat. I'm so done with this. I can't wait for it to be over. The Sassy Southern Belle. Blah, 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 blah. They had to give her a fucking tag name. What was wrong with Lacey Evans, the lady of the WWE? Now she's the Sassy Southern Belle. How many other Southern Belles are there in the fucking WWE? I'm sure there's plenty of girls that could be Southern Belles. I don't want any fucking bells. I want wrestlers. Keep your fucking bells out of this. The only bell I want to hear is the ring bell. Ding ding. Let's go with some fucking action, Lacey Evans. Stop with the bam bam. Banana fashion show. Awful. Just about as awful as Tamina Snuka and Nia Jax, who came out to interrupt this fucking fashion show. Gave Lacey Evans the little 1-2 up-down look. And then went to the ring so that we could see Nia Jax versus Natalya. And I'm very severely, at this point, struggling to stay awake on my couch. I could care less about any of this. And they had Beth Phoenix, the WWE Hall of Famer, come out and have Natalya's back. And this, again, no disrespect, I'm a big fan of Beth Phoenix. I loved what she did in the midst of that Divas era. She was one of the fucking females that I was actually hoping got a bigger push than she did. But I feel like the WWE as a whole maybe overvalue what the fans feel about a talent like Beth Phoenix. Do you understand what I mean by that? It's like they're putting too much stock in the fact that when she comes out, the crowd's going to be like, whoa! Like, you know, she's not like a Trish Stratus. And at this point, nobody wants to see her either because she don't even look like herself. You know, it's not like announcing Lita or somebody. You know, she's just... It's not that she didn't have an impact. It's just that she's not... I don't look at her on that same platform as some of those girls, like a Chyna or a Sable. Like, you say some of these names, the crowd's going to be like, holy shit. Beth Phoenix is just among the crowd of girls like Michelle McCool and Layla and all of the girls that were around at that age, almost at that age, at that time. Just like the Tori Wilsons and everybody, the Candice Michelles. Like, they were mid-card. They really were mid-card at best. And I loved Beth Phoenix. I wanted her to be transcendent. I wanted her to be the female to actually start to get women's wrestling in the right direction, but it just didn't go that way. We were still doing bra and panty matches and evening gown matches and all that kind of shit, and the Glamazon was way ahead of her time. And she does deserve her place in the Hall of Fame, unlike Tori Wilson, but I think that they think that the value that she holds is greater than it actually is, because she came out to crickets, man. Pittsburgh is a smart wrestling town, and they didn't seem to really give a fuck that Beth Phoenix was in town, and I really can't blame many of them, but considering the segment and the rest of the people she was surrounded by, there was nothing much to get excited about. This whole thing lasted about 60 seconds. Nia Jax won by disqualification, and I really just don't care. And this is only going to lead probably to a tag team match now. We had Nia Jax and Tamina get jumped by Bayley and Sasha at the gorilla position when this thing was all said and done. I really don't care. I really don't care. They did no justice to the women's tag team division with that match last night. Bayley and Sasha should have got a definitive win in their first title defense to make that division seem like, hey, look, we got champions that are fucking beating ass. They just beat the Samoan fucking slaughterhouse. You know, now we got the Divas of Doom on Monday Night Raw reuniting to go up against the slaughterhouse of shit. And nobody cares. And I can't blame them. We had an SUV pull up in the back, and you had to be stupid to not know this was going to be Batista. What I didn't expect to see was an entourage full of security. Triple H was in the ring, and he was waiting for Dave Batista to show up, and this was a good segment, you guys. I liked this much better than I liked what they did last week. Dave Batista was intense, man. Triple H was intense. These guys hit that guttural volume, and it just seemed like they want to tear into each other. Dave Batista was not going to be outsmarted by Triple H. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he came out here tonight to get it. The line of the night, Triple H refers to all of Batista's security as the guardians of the independent scene. So that, I thought, was fucking hysterical. I broke out laughing there at that one. But things didn't stay humorous for too long. Dave Batista just constantly screaming, "Give it to me. Give it to me," which could have been obscene in a few instances, but he kept saying, "Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want." We all know what he wants. We all know what he's leading to. Triple H is playing hard to get. "I'm not giving you anything, Dave." But in the end, he made it very clear. "I want you at WrestleMania." Triple H gives in, and I thought another great line is Dave Batista going, "I want to end my career on my terms, and I want to end your career on my terms, and I'll see you at WrestleMania." This was a very, very good face-to-face. Not much was said, but all the right things were said. They hit the right intensity. There was no physicality, even though Triple H threatened it on multiple occasions. Batista made it very clear, "We are not doing this your way, Triple H. We are doing this my way. All you got to do is give me what I want, and I will see you at WrestleMania. If you come down out of that ring, I'm just going to turn around and walk away, and I'm going to continue to hurt somebody in your life that you love. So let's just do this the easy way. Let's do this my way, and let's get this done." And Dave Batista got what he wanted. So now we actually have another match made for WrestleMania. Imagine that! We have a third match to worry about instead of just who's fucking hosting and who's going to be special correspondents. We have another wrestling match, and it's going to be a matchup of legends as Batista, the Animal, is going to be uncaged, and Drax the Destroyer is going to take on the Game at WrestleMania, and the Game took it up one level higher and made it a no-holds-barred match, and all bets are off. Batista, Triple H, WrestleMania, probably going to be a good one, and it is going to be Batista's final match, if what Batista says here is true. You know what else we found out is there will be another match at WrestleMania and that will be featuring somebody in their final match. The next segment would feature WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle coming out in his hometown of Pittsburgh to a massive "You Suck" chant as always, and he's telling everybody that he is going to call it quits at WrestleMania. We do not know who his opponent is going to be as of yet, but he has announced this will be his farewell match. And he said that since they are in his hometown, he wanted to have one more matchup in Pittsburgh, and he was given a match against Apollo Crews. Explain that one to me. I don't get it. Great for Apollo Crews. I'm sure it's on the bucket list. I'm sure it's something he's always wanted to do. Who wouldn't want to wrestle Kurt Angle? But I didn't get why you would feed Apollo Crews to Kurt Angle. There's probably a couple of better guys that you could have put out there. I don't have anybody off the top of my head to begin with. Maybe you could have paid somebody from SmackDown to show up, since that's been the MO when you need somebody good on Monday Night Raw. But Kurt Angle gets the win over Apollo Crews in a kind of short, inconsequential matchup. Kurt Angle's going to win probably everything on his way out in the next couple of weeks that he is involved in, and I expect to see him probably win his final match at WrestleMania. If I'm going to go out on a limb and pick anybody, I'm going to say John Cena will probably end up being Kurt Angle's final opponent at this year's WrestleMania. Then we had the main event. We had Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin, which was scheduled, but this was not happening. As Drew McIntyre came out and made a mess of everything, he attacked Roman Reigns viciously, hitting him with a big Claymore kick, and then he just would not stop. He absolutely decimated Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins came down to check on Roman Reigns when all was said and done. He helped Roman Reigns to the back. In the back, we would see everybody. The Shield, the band is back together for the second time on Monday Night Raw, and they are walking down the hall, and they end up confronting Triple H, and Dean Ambrose wants Drew McIntyre. So the match is made. Falls count anywhere. Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre, and this is another real knockdown, drag out, just overly booked ending to Monday Night Raw, just trying to get everybody all jazzed up for the road to WrestleMania. I don't understand what it means having Dean Ambrose go out there tonight to defend the honor of Roman Reigns or everybody else that got involved tonight with Drew McIntyre, only to have him go out there and lose to a Drew McIntyre. Why are we suddenly caring about building up Drew McIntyre again, since you've done so much damage to him over the course of the last 2 months? You think this one night that you give him a standout night where he just decimates everybody in his path, now we're all supposed to be afraid of a Drew McIntyre again? You got a lot more work to do than just this. I'm a big Drew McIntyre guy, and even this just felt like a little much. This guy with 2 other men on his team couldn't defeat the Shield. But tonight, he single-handedly handled both of them with no fucking problem. And again, this is 24 hours after Drew McIntyre was just fucking destroyed by the 3-man Shield team in the main event of Fastlane. And now he's out there tonight tearing everybody up, burning everybody down, the way Seth Rollins should be. And I don't understand why we went off the air tonight with Drew McIntyre standing tall over everybody. Is anybody more excited for WrestleMania after this show? I certainly am not. Not just yet. And now we have SmackDown Live going to step up to the plate and take their first swing on this road to WrestleMania, which definitely started off with a big floppy dud from Monday Night Raw. And what else is new? Thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight for the Monday Night Raw review on this Monday. May the 10th, 11th, today's the 11th, May the 11th, March the 11th. I'm fucking exhausted, as I usually am at this point on a Monday night. I don't even know where the fuck I am. And if you guys are still with me at 43 minutes in on this video and you heard my whole fuck up with all the date, all you need to do is hit that like button, because I know you're laughing at me right now, and I deserve you guys to at least reward me for my idiocy by smashing that thumbs up right now. If you are not a member already of the 1,200, almost at 1,300 strong in the Sledgehammer Club, my Sledgehammer family is always accepting of new brothers and sisters just like you. Knowledgeable, passionate wrestling fans who love the WWE and are not afraid to tell it like it is. You deserve to be part of the greatest family in all of YouTube, and that is the Sledgehammer family. And I urge you guys to subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell, because while we are on the road to WrestleMania, everything that you see here will be guaranteed to be better than anything the WWE throws at you guys. And if you find yourself with any questions and not understanding anything, all you gotta do is come to your pal Nick Nightmare right here at the Sledgehammer TV YouTube channel, because this is where you want to be when you want your wrestling stuff bullshit free and full of a lot of honesty and fun and all the hammer swinging a guy could ever have. And after you do all that shit, make sure you share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they know how big of a piece of shit Monday Night Raw is every single Monday night, and they need a flag to pledge their allegiance to. You know which flag to let fly, and that's your Sledgehammer flag. So raise your hammers proud, and let's start hammering down on the way to WrestleMania. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on tonight's episode down in the comments section below. One of our other biggest fans and best friends is Audible, the show sponsor. They have over 180,000 books that you could choose from to infect your earballs with, and you can get one for free right now at audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv. One free audiobook with your 30-day free trial. Once you sign up, pick whatever book you want, whether it's a wrestling book, a self-help book, a language book. There's all kinds of genres, all sorts of titles for all sorts of people. One of them is going to be calling your name, and all you got to do to get yours right now, audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv. If you've already redeemed a free Audible trial from some other outlet, feel free to take this link to everybody that you know and love and infect the world with the love that is for professional wrestling that resides here at Sledgehammer TV. Tell everybody, hey, go check out this show at Sledgehammer TV on YouTube. It's called the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. It's pretty fucking awesome. And you know what else? As a thank you for just checking them out, all you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv and get yourself a free book. And even if you cancel before the 30 days is up, you get to keep that book for the rest of your life. So finally we get to slow things down as Fastlane is over with, and we can finally put that speed bump out of our mind and focus all of our attention on WrestleMania. Hopefully the WWE decides to do the same thing and gives us something good to look forward to at WrestleMania 35, because they're already starting to ruin everything that's already in place. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.